Okay, we're back.
We're going to talk about bad fleeces too, but for reference, because I don't want to actually dig in this one because it's pretty disgusting.
I think even any dirty fleeces we're not going to touch today because we don't need to do that. But we can show you what you can see, obviously.
Good fleece is going to have grease bits. So this one has like some orangey, greasy bits. There can be a bacterial infection that causes it orange. This is just dirty, but like, look at how discolored that is comparatively.
This one's really yellow. It matches the yellow paper that's with it.
Not white.
And it's yellow throughout the lock.
And if you look at the outside of the bag, it's actually making greasy smears on the bag. That is a very greasy fleece. Now, a greasy fleece isn't necessarily a bad thing.
I don't want to say the name, but...
Oh, sorry. A greasy fleece is not necessarily a bad thing. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
You'll have a lot more loss.
If it's really, really yellow, there are infections and things like that have on fleece, or like parasitic infections basically, or I don't know if it's parasitic, but
I think it's bacterial.
I think it is too, where they basically start growing somewhat of a mold kind of thing on their fleece, and it totally discolors.
And it's fine for over dyeing. It doesn't actually damage it, it just discolors
I actually did too. There's some that get weak if they have like...
The yolking is just a color thing, right?
Yes, but some of it can wash out, and then other ones can totally damage the fleece. So we're also looking to see if there's poopy fleeces. We open a bag if it's got... I should turn this around so you guys can see my glorious face. There you go. Handing it off. We also look in the bags, and if there's any poopy bits in there, like there was one back that way that Jasmine was like, ooh, what's this? Holy crap, I'm not touching it. And so we knew that one right away was a nasty fleece, because you're paying for poop. I mean, that's weight in there right now, and it's something that you have to pay to have cleaned out. So why buy poop when you can buy
a beautiful fleece
ever?
Now, you can buy a greasy fleece. We just actually are picking out a beautiful greasy Rambouillet. It's a Rambouillet, right?
It is.
Who is he? It's a dude, we think.
Rambouillet cross.
Yep. Oh, sorry. We're causing chaos with our fleeces. Here, let me kick our other fleeces over.
Okay.
And leaving me with the camera, of course. Can't be trusted. Cannot be trusted.
So we saw this guy, and the reason we were drawn to it was the color. Look how black that fleece is. Now,
take that, HD.
There's a lot of browning right here. That's from sunshine, or a coated fleece. I don't know if this one was coated. It might be. That's why it's so greasy. Sometimes guys will get... They won't... I think he was coated, and that's why these tips are felting like that.
I thought it was poo earlier. We actually had a discussion about whether this was poo or whether it was burnt.
Honestly,
I think dirt.
The tips are kind of locked together. If he was coated like right away, and the fleece grew out, which would explain why he's so greasy too. He was wearing a coat all the time, and so sometimes the tips will felt a little bit, or just get kind of locked together because the lanolin is all stuck in the end, and it kind of locks it together, and then it grows out. The thing is, the ping on this one is so fabulous,
and look, and the crimp is incredible.
And the crimp's incredible, and so's the color.
Yeah, it's a beautiful black piece. This is gonna come.
Shots.
Say hi, Tammy.
Hello.
But so yeah,
like looking in here, these are the undersides of the locks.
So we should talk money, because that's the other thing that we haven't mentioned at all.
And this is why we're dealing with fleece that's really greasy.
So when you look at this, it has the breed, it has the weight, it has the price per pound, and then the total price, in case you are not math inclined. Where you can make that decision as to what you want to pay for is if you know you're going to have a high yield fleece and it's a little bit more expensive, you can weigh that as opposed to getting a very greasy fleece that is going to be a lower...
This one, because the 9.5 pounds of weight,
we'll probably get
is probably grease.
We'll probably get 6.5, 7 pounds out of this fleece, which is still plenty of fleece for the record. And for the buck,
it looks like the shepherd knew that and priced it at $8 a pound, because he was like, this is really greasy. A lot of this is grease. So we're going to knock down the price to get what you're actually going to be paying for.
Which is nice. A conscientious breeder will consider.
And he probably also was acknowledging the fact that the tips were a little bit felted together and not as optimal as he would have liked.
And this one's a bit rammy. He's a bit fragrant.
Musty, like we talked about.
Like we mentioned. But once he's processed, we think he'll be delicious.
Frank was.
Frank was delicious. He was buttery too, wasn't he?
Yes, he was.
Or was that Luther?
He was.
They're both buttery. Alrighty, we're done spending money, so we're going to go.
We have to get out of here because they're going to keep running out of fleeces, or we're going to get evicted because we're blocking the aisles and people are trying to purchase.
Okay, I'm going to hit stop now.
Okay.